Hello and welcome to a special edition of Above the Curve. This one's for Grand Prix Miami, so it's showing up on the select side of StarCityGames.com. I'm your host, Glenn Jones. I'm joined by Brad Nelson.
Hello, everyone.
And Todd Anderson.
I'm a beast.
Todd will, in fact, be a beast at Grand Prix Miami as his token is debuting there. If you'd like to meet Todd...
I also get a token. I was saying that I'm going to be a beast.
We got there. We're all on board. If you'd like to meet Todd, get him to sign your token, you can do that at the meet and greet area that we'll have available at Grand Prix Miami. If you'd like to make sure that you don't meet Todd, just stay away from that area.
Yeah. You can actually meet the other 4 guys, Tom Martell, Sam Black.
Good guy, Reed Duke.
Yeah, Reed Duke.
And some other
Phillips,
Cedric Phillips.
Our content coordinator.
My boss.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So that should be a great time. But Grand Prix Miami is a tournament, after all. Someone's going to win it. It's the standard format. So Brad and Todd have joined me here to run down the standard format and give you guys a look at the most influential cards in the format. They've collected together 5 to 6.
He's a little crazy.
Cards that they think are the most influential cards in the format, and they're going to run down why and how you should be looking to beat them and prepare for them at Grand Prix Miami. So let's start with number 1 on the list. No surprise to anyone, I think, Voice of Resurgence.
It slices.
It dices.
It's insane!
Voice of Resurgence is obviously...
I don't know if that was...
obviously very good, and that was obviously very staged.
Yes.
So I think one of the biggest things about Voice of Resurgence, specifically is that it is a 2-2 for 2, which isn't like great stats, but with all these aggressive decks playing Burning Tree Emissary and a ton of 1-drops that, like Experiment 1 very rarely gets over a 2-2, the body is actually relevant. But when you can start doing some crazy things with the back half of it, like the Elemental token, with decks like Junk Aristocrats, where you sack it to Cartel Aristocrat, you sack it to Varels, you get value out of it while you're also generating a large creature for just 2 mana. And when you have things like Lingering Souls to really boost its power and toughness, you can actually put a reasonable clock on your opponent and just turn the game around incredibly fast.
The other thing I really like about Voice is Red Green Aggro is one of the most popular decks right now. I think it's one of the most powerful decks, and this is one of the best cards against them. Stormcroak Noble, Rakdos Calcular, Burning Tree Emissary all just like die to the front half, and it's the reason the deck is running 4 pillars. It feels embarrassing when you cast it and they pillar it, but if they never have that card, this card will get you to the late game without as much resources as you would normally need.
Sure. Yeah. The fact that this card is so good means that all the red decks should be playing some number of Pillar of Flame between the main deck and the sideboard. And if you want to beat Voice of Resurgence, that's just what you're going to have to do.
Yep.
I've even seen Annihilating Fires. I'm not saying you should try it at home.
No.
But I have seen
that is not on our top 5.
No, of course it has.
Don't even put that in people's heads.
Yeah, come on.
This
Why
is
not?
bad.
I mean,
all right, number 2.
Grand Prix. Number 2 on the list, the Red Green Aggro Hallmark card, Gore Clan Rampager.
All right.
I actually think Burning Tree Emissary is better, but I didn't want to put too much dissension in the ranks. But I'll let Brad talk about Gore Clan Rampager.
So the reason it's not better than Burning Tree is because Gore Clan Rampager is in every single deck that runs green and red lands. It's in the Jund Aggro decks, it's in the Nai Aggro decks, because the card is super powerful and it ends games that are hard to win. A lot of Lingering Souls are in the format. Thragtusk, Boros Reckoners, it tramples over all these to get that last couple points of damage in. As well as it's just a big body. A 4/4 for 4 is probably your worst creature in most decks, but it still is enough.
And it still tramples.
It still tramples, yeah. It's just enough when you need that creature. I like casting the card a lot, but being able to just get over all of the hurdles in the format, even just a Lingering Souls token, or a token that was sacrificed to protect a Cartel or Varels, you can just give that creature +4/+4 and deal that damage that they were hoping to not receive.
Yeah. So the real question, I think, is how do you beat Gore Clan Rampager? And the short answer is you don't.
The long answer is you don't. Because...
No, the long answer is Smite.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind playing Smite. But the reason that Gore Clan is so good right now is also because Voice of Resurgence is forcing people to just want to trade resources on their own turn. We've been seeing that since Gatecrash first came out, is players, or the aggressive players, would just want to trade resources on their turn, play Sorcerer's Spear removal, Searing Spear just to be able to attack through. Yep. And Voice has just amplified this to the point where you don't want to play removal on your opponent's turn because you can give them tokens. So a lot of your removal is bonfires and pillars and Mizium mortars, dreadbores, things like that. So then these Gore Clan Rampagers just get uncontested and just trample over no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great point, Brad. But I also think that one thing that a lot of players don't utilize is that there is a phase between the main phase and the attack step where you can actually enter into combat and kill some of their creatures before they get a chance to attack. And this is important with things like Searing Spear, which will just get blanked by a Goreclan Rampager after they've already declared their attackers. And if you utilize this small spot in the game to gain a little more information, but you do it before they declare attackers so they can't blood rush, I think that that's like a good way to help fight against Goreclan Rampager. Obviously, that changes a little bit if they have a Voice of Resurgence in play. Just cast everything at sorcery speed. Just kill all their guys.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there also an argument that you want to use the Searing Spear to counter the Goreclan Rampager?
Yeah, if you're dumb. Yeah, dude, that's so dangerous.
That's a game of chicken right there.
Dude. All right, I block. All right.
Trade. I'm happy. Kill it after combat.
No, but like usually you're not trading because they have like flint hoof boars and stuff, and their guys are just way bigger than yours already. Like they're just using this to trample over and actually kill you.
Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, you do that if you don't have any blockers.
It's certainly a contextual decision.
Yeah.
One of the things I find most interesting is I think Goreclan Rampager is in a lot of ways responsible for the success of Firefish Striker in Standard.
Yeah.
The fact that you can
that guy any
get
good?
2 no blocks in a row, pretty good. I think a lot of people were used to him not being very good because you attack in, he gets eaten by whatever they had around.
I remember playing that guy in our very first Nine Blitz deck, Brad. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
It wasn't so bad. It was only bad because we weren't using it right. We weren't playing like all the Goreclan Rampagers possible.
Because we had all the Cavern of the Souls.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go down to third on the list. It's I'd say a change of pace from our last 2 options, which you see those as hallmarks in mostly aggressive creature strategies, although obviously Voice is playing all kinds of roles. But Angel of Serenity.
Shotgun.
Angel of Serenity's only got one thing in mind. Todd, what does Angel of Serenity have in mind?
All right, so Angel of Serenity wants to kill all their guys. Long story short, it exiles, which is great. They can get them back if they kill your Angel of Serenity. But you're able to actually take care of, the tokens from Lingering Souls. You actually get to exile the Voice of Resurgence so they don't get a big elemental token. Or you can take care of the backside elemental token as well. All these Reanimator decks that play on Barrow Rides, all they're focused on is getting Angel of Serenity into play as quickly as possible, whether that be with Faithless Looting or just casting mana creatures. But it's definitely a powerful card. You can use it as a card drawing engine as well if you have Grizzly Salvage and Mulch to mill over other creatures like Thragtusk, and you get to put those under the Angel of Serenity. And if they do end up killing it, or you just want to kill it yourself to draw 3 cards, I think that all these things are worthwhile endeavors. Angel of Serenity is a huge blowout in a lot of matchups, and the only way to really beat it is to play graveyard interaction, like main deck Ground Seals out of the Jund decks, sideboard Deathrite Shamans, and the Junk Aristocrats deck, which Brad cut, which we talked about.
Well, they're back in.
Sure.
They just took a vacation with Glenn last weekend.
Yeah. So, but other than that, Angel of Serenity is just a powerful card that people can actually just cast because you have access to 8 mana creatures in your deck if you want, as well as Farseek and other things. But yeah, it's an insane card and something you definitely have to be on the lookout for.
And one of the reasons that it's very powerful right now is a lot of the aggressive decks that are in the format are so focused on the other aggressive decks that they don't have a removal spell for an Angel. Once it hits the play, it sticks around unless you use Goreclan Rampager. I think we're moving a little bit more towards splashes for the red-green decks. Cedric Phillips has been piloting his Jund Aristocrat deck again, or his Jund Aggro deck, excuse me. And I've been actually jumping on board with this because it kills things. It has Putrefies and Dreadbores, and when an Angel hits the board, I can actually kill it.
Yeah,
and
Thundermaw Hellkite, baby. Boom!
Thundermaw can tap it, but that's something that's really important for a lot of decks. If you don't have an answer to Angel Serenity, you better make sure that you kill mana guys and you kill their graveyard because they will get into play some way if you don't beat them down early enough.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Brad, the 4th card is becoming a little bit of a pet card of yours. Obviously, strong card, has been since it was printed. Garrick, but which Garrick? Garrick Relentless.
The tiny Garrick, the little cursed one.
Little buddy.
Yeah, I definitely really like this card right now. It's one of those planeswalkers that gets really good sometimes and really bad. And right now I think it's moving up in the world because there's a lot of early creatures. You have High Priests, you have mana guys. Even just being able to curve out and play it and fight something in the red deck. I mean, you can kill a Hellrider. I think it's a reasonable trade right now to kill the frontline medics and trade with these permanents. But if you can just knock off a Burning Tree or a Rakdos Cackler, and then your opponent is forced to do something to kill your Garrick that turn, that gives you a huge tempo boost. Even use their Goreclan Rampager on the Garrick. I think it's well positioned right now, and it's one of the cards that I want to be playing in something. I actually, this morning before we filmed this, I was like, what's the best Garrick Relentless deck? Because that's what I want to play right now, and that's what I'm looking for.
All right, well, slot number 5, you guys were a little contested over. Todd, your pick?
Wait, what was it? Oh, yeah, the one that draws all the cards? That one?
No,
Yeah.
correction, it used to draw the cards. Now it draws about 3 cards.
All right, so Sphinx's Revelation, that's going to be my pick for number 5. I think that Sphinx Revelation, if in the correct shell, depending on whatever the rest of the decks are in the format, is the best card you can have access to. You know, all these decks in the format, they top out at like 5. They don't really have a whole lot to do after that. And if they ever get flooded, they're just dead. Like sometimes they have a Bonfire, sometimes they have a Kessig Wolf Run. But I draw my Sphinx's Revelation and I win the game. And if you play it alongside something like Farseek, you know, you get to gain like, you know, the 6 life and prevent the aggro decks from being able to actually kill you because you create this huge buffer, but you also gain access to all these new resources that will also gain you a bunch of life, also draw you into more Sphinx Revelations, and really just take over the game. And I think that the best way to build a Sphinx Revelation deck right now is either playing with Farseek and Terminus or playing with Pillar of Flame and Terminus. And I think that if you have either of those, you know, you actually buy yourself enough time against all these aggressive decks to get a reasonable Revelation off before you die. All
right, and before I get to my card, I just want to explain why I don't think Sphinx's Revelation is that good right now.
I don't care.
Well, I think they do. As Magic keeps going and more sets are introduced to Standard, the format just gets faster. We saw Sphinx's Revelation do very powerful things about a year ago around the Charleston time for the Grand Prix Charleston because there weren't as many cards and people didn't have access to them. Now the format's super fast, super aggressive, cards like Terminus and cards like Sphinx's Revelation, you don't have enough time to utilize them.
Dude, I always miracle it. It's fine.
Easy game.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. If you always miracle it on turn 3.
I just want to point out that you are Brad, Control is Dead, Nelson.
Well, I don't see any control lying around anymore.
I mean, first it was Cyber Insanity, but we realized that card's just not very good.
Well, it's not good because it already killed Control, so it doesn't need to get played anymore. Blue-White-Red is a fine mid-range deck. I wouldn't consider it a control deck.
I'm not playing Blue-White-Red necessarily.
That's fine. But what I mean is right now it's a difficult card to play. So the card that I like in my top 5 is Thundermaw Hellkite. I think that card is very good right now. It has a huge impact. And
I'm so shocked right now that you picked a giant 5-mana dragon that kills your opponent as the best, one of the best cards.
I think that cards like this are Miracle-esque in the fact that I want a lot of live cards on top of my deck that just get them dead. I think it's very important to just pick off the one turn where you need to slow them down, throw a wrench in their game plan, and then hit them with something big. And there's a lot of board states where it's really bad, and you just need a huge top deck. And Thundermaw is that huge top deck that just swings a game really quick and can end the game immediately. So I think Thundermaw is a very good choice right now. I'm a believer. Cedric has made me one. The deck is awesome, and I really like that card.
You know what else is a great top deck? Terminus.
Thundermaw Hellkite is definitely, I think, a perennially underrated card in Standard.
Yep.
Just constantly, you know, people kind of just forget that it's there and forget that it frequently attacks the opponent for lethal damage. Very
I don't
frequently,
forget.
in
It kills
fact.
me at least once a tournament.
So you're keeping it in mind. All right. It's good. And it's paying off for you, apparently. Only once. Only once. Well, for you guys who are first timing at Grand Prix Miami, first of all, kudos. It should be fun.
Yeah.
But we've got a few tips for you just to try and make the experience a little more fun, a little less stressful. I'm expecting a fair number of players. And tip number 1 is online pre-registration. Todd, sing the praises.
Online pre-registration. I mean, if you noticed what happened at Grand Prix Vegas this past weekend, you'll see that there were, you know, over 3,000 people pre-registered for the tournament. And what this does is that this allows the tournament organizer to run a more smooth tournament, but it also allows you to really not have to get in this gigantic line necessarily. You know, maybe it ends up being the opposite, because there's 3,000 people pre-registered and then there's only 1,000 people not pre-registered. So it's a little weird, but I think it will save you time. It might help guarantee the fact that you'll get like your playmat or your promo foil more likely than someone who didn't pre-register, which is you know, a big thing, because whenever I go to a Grand Prix, I always want to get the swag that goes with it. And if you don't get it, then you know that sucks.
There's also a lot of fun to be had on Friday, even though the event starts on Saturday. Obviously, you know, trials to try and grind out some buys, but a number of other side events, you know, win-a-boxes, just really a variety of things. Bring your commander decks even. We have those events.
And those events happen, and I mean, I know that I'm a little biased since I work for Star City, but they do run just the best events. And the side events are going to be run really well. The tournament's going to be run really well. We've got, some people's wives on staff working hard.
Oh, yeah. Wait, do you have a wife?
No, some people's. I don't have one.
No.
Yours. But, but it's just a great experience. I'm going to Miami because Star City is running the event. I really like their tournaments. I've always have. And but I have one quick thing about a Star City Grand Prix is they tend to be a little bit bigger. And I've noticed that whenever I go to these events, I want to bring my own water, at least maybe just something to hold water in. So when I'm thirsty, I don't have to go dig for something. And snacks. I think it's just important to make sure that you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to find these things midday, because the rounds take a while and it'll go late, and around 8 o'clock you don't want to be playing for top 8 and just be dead, just have no energy and just be exhausted.
Yep. If you're not playing for top 8 on Sunday, the Wizards also offers a Super Series, which has been catching fire this year. It's a standard and a sealed event. The top 4 players of each event advance to a top 8 draft, and the winner of that draft gets the opportunity to go to Wizards and play for a $40,000 prize purse in a little tournament amongst all of the Super Series winners.
It's kind of like a mini
really
Pro
cool.
Tour, which is actually really cool.
And the reason that I really like this tournament is because I went to Wizards for the Community Cup, and I love going to Wizards. It's like the coolest place. The people are fun.
It's like Willy Wonka.
It is. It's the chocolate factory, and I want another golden ticket. I might even I'm going to XO, and then I'm going to drop just to go and try to call.
I'll smooth call on that one. Yeah, that's never going to happen. But yeah, pretty healthy prize purse, and certainly something to do on Sundays. So the one last thing we should talk about, again, the meet and greet with our new token guys, Todd Anderson, Sam Black, Reed Duke, Cedric Phillips, and
so
Tom
that means
Martell.
Brad's token
now.
is rotate. Do your hipster. You were a token before being token was cool.
What? No, to be the token.
No, it was not cool. Shut up. So the meet and greet's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to signing a bunch of tokens and really getting a lot of my new tokens out there for you guys to use as your beasts, Thragtusks. Not use Brad's anymore.
No, you should use
mine.
mine.
Say beast on them, and they say 3/3. So make sure you bring Thragtusk to every event.
And I know that Todd told me before this that he wants every single person to bring the token up to him to have it signed. So everyone, have him sign your token.
All right.
He wants to get to 3K.
He's going to be tired. All right, well, guys, enjoy Grand Prix Miami. I'm certain that we will. We'll have Cedric Phillips, Osip Lebedovich, and Patrick Sullivan all on the commentary team.
Osip's last name?
Yes, or at least it's very close.
Lebedovich.
So, guys, please enjoy the Grand Prix. If you're not there, enjoy the coverage. On behalf of Brad and Todd, I'm Glenn Jones, and thank you for watching.
See you in Miami.
All right, so I want to do. I'm going to be like.
Oh, no, not gonna break. Oh, no, welcome to Miami.
Can I do that? Are you still recording? Okay, good.
Well, you got it. There you go.